How to live with courage. Every day there comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a choice. A choice between fear and courage. A choice between staying where they are comfortable and stepping into the unknown. A choice between listening to the voice that says, "You can't do this," and the voice deep inside that whispers, "Try one more time." Courage does not mean that you never feel afraid. Courage means that you feel afraid, but you refuse to let fear make every decision in your life. Many people believe that brave people are born different. They look at successful people, confident speakers, leaders, athletes, artists, and dreamers and think they are naturally fearless, but that is rarely true. Behind every confident person is a human being who has experienced doubt, rejection, failure, embarrassment, uncertainty, and fear. The difference is not that they never felt afraid. The difference is that they kept moving. You may be afraid today. You may be afraid of failure. You may be afraid that people will laugh at you. You may be afraid of making the wrong decision. You may be afraid of losing something important. You may even be afraid to believe in yourself because you have been disappointed before. But remember this: your fear is not a prophecy. Just because you are afraid of something does not mean that something bad will happen. Fear often creates stories inside our minds. It shows us the worst possible outcome. It tells us that we are not ready, not talented enough, not smart enough, or not strong enough. But courage begins when you question that voice. Ask yourself, what if I am stronger than I think? Ask yourself, what if this challenge is preparing me for something greater? Ask yourself, what if the life I want is waiting on the other side of this fear? Every great change begins with a moment of uncertainty. The first step may feel uncomfortable, your hands may shake, your heart may beat faster. You may not know exactly what will happen next. Take the step anyway, because confidence does not always come before action. Very often, confidence comes after action. You do something difficult once, and you realize that you survived. You do it again, and you become stronger. You face another challenge, and suddenly you discover that the person you once thought was weak has become someone capable of handling difficult situations. That is how courage grows, not in one dramatic moment, but through small decisions made every day. Courage is waking up after a difficult day and trying again. Courage is speaking when your voice shakes. Courage is walking away from something that is hurting you. Courage is admitting when you are wrong. Courage is beginning again after failure. Courage is believing that your future can be better even when your present feels difficult. You do not need to change your entire life today. You only need to take one brave step. Maybe that step is starting the project you have been postponing. Maybe it is learning a new skill. Maybe it is applying for an opportunity. Maybe it is saying no to something that does not serve your future. Maybe it is forgiving yourself for the mistakes you made. Maybe it is simply getting out of bed and deciding that today will not defeat you. Never underestimate the power of one small courageous decision. A small step can change your direction. A changed direction can change your habits. Changed habits can change your life. And one day you may look back and realize that the moment you were most afraid was also the moment your new life began. The problem is that many of us wait for fear to disappear. We say, when I feel confident, I will start. When I have more money, I will start. When everyone supports me, I will start. When I know exactly what to do, I will start. But life does not always give us perfect conditions. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you may spend your entire life waiting. The perfect time is often an illusion. There will always be another reason to delay. There will always be another challenge. There will always be another voice telling you to wait. But your dreams cannot grow while you are standing still. At some point, you must decide that fear will no longer be the leader of your life. You can still feel fear. You can still have doubts. You can still make mistakes, but you can move forward anyway. That is courage. Think about all the difficult moments you have already survived. There were days you thought you would never get through. There were problems that seemed impossible. There were disappointments that broke your heart. There were moments when you questioned your strength. And yet, you are still here. You survived days that once felt unbearable. You learned lessons from experiences you never wanted. You became stronger through battles that nobody else completely understood. Do not forget your own history. You have evidence that you can survive difficult things. Sometimes we become so focused on what is ahead that we forget how far we have already come. Look back. Remember the person you used to be. Remember the challenges you thought would destroy you. Remember how you continued, even when you did not feel strong. There is strength inside you that you may not have discovered yet. Difficult moments often introduce us to abilities we did not know we possessed. A comfortable life may never ask you to discover your courage. But challenges do. Challenges ask you to grow. They ask you to become more patient, more resilient, more determined, more aware of who you truly are. That does not mean you should enjoy every difficult moment. Pain is painful, failure is disappointing, loss can hurt deeply, but even in difficult seasons, you can choose your response. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you can control what you do next. That is one of the greatest forms of courage. Stop giving all your power to circumstances. Yes, life can be unfair. Yes, people can disappoint you. Yes, opportunities can disappear. Yes, plans can fail. But your story is not finished because one chapter was difficult. One failure is not your identity. One rejection is not your identity. One mistake is not your identity. One difficult season is not your entire life. Do not allow one moment to convince you that the rest of your future has already been decided. Your future is still being written, and every courageous decision you make becomes part of that story. Sometimes courage means continuing, but sometimes courage means letting go. It takes courage to leave behind a habit that is destroying your potential. It takes courage to stop chasing approval. It takes courage to accept that not everyone will understand your journey. It takes courage to say goodbye to an old version of yourself. Growth is not always comfortable because growth requires change. And change can feel frightening. You may have become comfortable with things that no longer help you simply because they are familiar. But familiar does not always mean good. Sometimes the place where you feel safest is also the place where you stop growing. You cannot discover what you are capable of if you never leave the limits you have created for yourself. So challenge yourself, try something that scares you, learn something new, speak up, ask the question. Start the journey, make the phone call, send the application, create the first video, write the first page. Take the first step. You do not have to know every step before beginning. You only need enough courage to take the next one. Life is not a straight road. You may take a step forward and then experience a setback. You may feel confident one day and uncertain the next. You may succeed at something and later fail at something else. That does not mean you are moving in the wrong direction. Progress is not always perfect. Real growth is often messy. The important thing is to keep learning. Do not judge your entire future based on one bad day. A bad day does not mean you have a bad life. A difficult chapter does not mean the story is over. Sometimes you need to rest. Sometimes you need to reflect. Sometimes you need to change your strategy. But do not confuse resting with quitting. Rest if you need to, heal if you need to, learn if you need to. Then rise again. One of the biggest obstacles to courage is the fear of other people's opinions. You may have a dream, but you are afraid someone will laugh. You may want to change your life, but you worry about what people will say. You may have an idea, but you keep it hidden because you are afraid of criticism. Listen carefully. People will always have opinions. If you succeed, some people will criticize you. If you fail, some people will criticize you. If you stay quiet, someone may judge you. If you speak, someone may judge you. So you cannot build your entire life around avoiding judgment. You must decide whose voice matters. Not every opinion deserves a place in your mind. The people who criticize your journey may not understand the destination you are trying to reach. Do not allow someone who is not living your life to control your decisions. Listen to wisdom. Learn from constructive feedback. Accept advice from people who genuinely want to help you grow. But do not surrender your dreams to every negative voice. Your life is your responsibility. Your future is your responsibility. And one day, you will have to live with the choices you made or the chances you were too afraid to take. Choose courage. Another important lesson is this: you do not need to be perfect to be brave. Many people are waiting to become perfect before they begin. They want perfect knowledge, perfect skills, perfect confidence, perfect timing, but perfection is not the requirement for progress. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to learn slowly. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to fail and try again. Do not be embarrassed by the beginning. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every confident person once felt uncertain. Every successful journey started before the person knew exactly where it would lead. The beginning may not be impressive, but beginnings are powerful because they create possibilities. You cannot improve something you never start. You cannot learn from a journey you never begin. You cannot discover your strength if you never test it. So start before you feel completely ready. The truth is that you may never feel completely ready, and that is okay. Courage does not wait for certainty. Courage moves even when certainty is unavailable. There will be moments when you have to trust yourself without having proof that everything will work out. That can be frightening, but trusting yourself does not mean believing that you will never fail. It means believing that whatever happens, you will learn, adapt, and continue. That is real confidence. Real confidence says, I may not know everything, but I am willing to learn. I may fail, but failure will not be the end of me. I may face rejection, but rejection will not stop me. I may be afraid, but fear will not control me. Imagine what would happen if you stopped asking, what if I fail? And started asking, what if I grow? What if the challenge teaches you something valuable? What if rejection redirects you toward a better opportunity? What if failure gives you the experience you need for your next attempt? What if the difficult path is developing the person you need to become? Sometimes life does not give us what we want immediately because we are still becoming ready for what we asked for. The process matters. The struggle can teach patience. The delay can teach discipline. The failure can teach humility. The challenge can reveal strength. So do not hate every difficult season. Instead, ask yourself what this season is teaching you. Ask, what can I learn here? What can I improve? What strength am I developing? This does not mean you must pretend to be happy about every struggle. It simply means you refuse to waste your pain. You can transform difficult experiences into wisdom. You can transform mistakes into lessons. You can transform fear into action. You can transform setbacks into preparation. Your courage becomes stronger when you stop seeing every obstacle as a sign to turn back. Sometimes an obstacle is simply part of the journey. Think of courage like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The first difficult conversation may feel terrifying. The second may still feel uncomfortable, but eventually you become more capable. The first time you try something new, you may feel nervous. But experience teaches you that nervousness is not a stop sign. It is simply a feeling. Feelings are powerful, but they do not always tell you what you should do. You can feel afraid and still be safe. You can feel uncertain and still make a good decision. You can feel nervous and still perform well. You can feel uncomfortable and still be growing. Do not allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions for your life. Pause, breathe, think clearly, then choose the action that moves you toward the person you want to become. Courage is not always loud. Sometimes courage is quiet. It is quietly refusing to give up. It is quietly rebuilding after everything falls apart. It is quietly studying when nobody is watching. It is quietly working on your dream while others doubt you. It is quietly improving yourself every day. Not every courageous act receives applause. Sometimes nobody will know how hard you are trying. Sometimes nobody will understand the battles you are fighting inside, but you know, and your future will reflect the choices you make when nobody is watching. Do not live only for applause. Build a life that makes you proud even when no one else sees the process. There will be moments when you feel alone. You may feel that nobody understands your dreams. You may feel that nobody believes in your abilities. During those moments, learn to become your own source of encouragement. Speak to yourself with honesty and strength. Do not lie to yourself. Do not pretend that every problem is easy, but remind yourself that difficult does not mean impossible. Say, I have survived before. Say, I can learn. Say, I can improve. Say, I can take one more step. Say, I do not need to have everything figured out today. The way you speak to yourself matters. Your inner voice can either become a prison or a source of strength. If you constantly tell yourself that you are weak, incapable, and destined to fail, you will begin to believe it. But if you train yourself to focus on learning, growth, and possibility, your mind becomes a better place from which to face challenges. You do not have to become arrogant to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself simply means recognizing that you are capable of growth. It means giving yourself permission to try. It means understanding that your current abilities are not necessarily your final abilities. You can learn, you can practice, you can improve, you can become stronger. Your life can change when your daily choices change. Perhaps the biggest act of courage is refusing to become a prisoner of your past. Your past may contain mistakes. It may contain failures. It may contain moments you wish you could change. But you cannot travel backward and rewrite yesterday. You can only decide what you will do with today. Do not spend your entire future punishing yourself for something that happened in the past. Learn the lesson, take responsibility, make amends when possible, forgive yourself, then move forward. You are not required to remain the person you were 5 years ago. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to become wiser. Your past can explain you, but it does not have to define you. Every morning gives you another opportunity to make a different decision. Maybe yesterday you gave up, try again today. Maybe yesterday you were afraid, take one brave step today. Maybe yesterday you made a mistake, learn from it today. Your life is shaped by what you repeatedly choose. And courage is a choice you can practice. You do not have to become fearless overnight. Start small. Do one thing that challenges you. Have the conversation you have been avoiding. Learn the skill you have been delaying. Wake up earlier to work on your goal. Stop spending time on something that is draining your future. Ask for help when you need it. Set a boundary. Say no. Say yes to an opportunity. Small acts of courage create a stronger identity. Eventually, you begin to see yourself differently. You stop thinking, I am a person who always runs away. You begin to think, I am a person who faces things. That identity is powerful. Because once you believe you are capable of facing challenges, you stop looking for excuses to escape them. You begin looking for ways through them. Remember that courage and patience must work together. Some dreams take time. You may be doing everything you can and still not see immediate results. That can be frustrating, but do not allow slow progress to convince you that progress is not happening. A seed grows beneath the ground before anyone sees it. Your work may also be developing results that are not visible yet. Keep improving, keep learning, keep showing up. Do not measure your worth only by immediate success. Measure yourself by your willingness to continue. There is dignity in persistence. There is power in consistency. You do not have to be the fastest person. You do not have to become successful overnight. You simply need to keep becoming better than you were before. Every day, ask yourself one question. What is one courageous thing I can do today? Maybe the answer is small. But do it. Tomorrow, ask again, and then again. One courageous choice after another can slowly transform your life. Do not wait for a dramatic moment to become brave. Your life is being shaped in ordinary moments. It is shaped when you choose discipline instead of distraction. When you choose growth instead of excuses, when you choose truth instead of pretending, when you choose to continue instead of surrendering, when you choose hope instead of believing that nothing can change, courage is built in ordinary moments long before it is tested in extraordinary ones. And remember, courage does not guarantee that everything will go exactly as you planned. You can make the right decision and still face difficulties. You can work hard and still experience setbacks. You can give your best and still be rejected. But courage guarantees something important. You will not abandon yourself before you have given yourself a chance. You will know that you tried. You will know that you faced the possibility. You will know that fear did not make every decision for you. And even when things do not work out, you will gain experience, wisdom, and strength that can guide your next step. Failure is often less dangerous than regret. Failure can teach you. Regret can follow you for years. Do not allow fear to create a life full of unanswered questions. Do not spend your future wondering, what would have happened if I had tried? Try. Learn, adjust, try again. Your dreams deserve an honest effort. Your potential deserves an opportunity. And you deserve the chance to discover what you can become. There will always be reasons to be afraid, but there can also be reasons to hope. There will always be challenges, but there will also be opportunities. There will always be people who doubt, but there can be one person who chooses to believe. Let that person be you. Believe in your ability to learn. Believe in your ability to recover. Believe in your ability to begin again. Believe that you can become stronger through the challenges you face. You may not control the entire journey, but you can control your next step. So take the step even if your hands are shaking. Take the step even if you do not have every answer. Take the step even if some people do not understand. Take the step even if you have failed before. Your past failure does not have the authority to decide your future. Your fear does not have the authority to control your destiny. Your doubts do not have the authority to stop your growth. Only you can decide whether you will keep moving, and today you have another opportunity. You have another chance to try, another chance to learn, another chance to rise, another chance to choose courage. Do not wait until you feel fearless. You may wait forever. Instead, decide that courage is more important than comfort. Decide that growth is more important than approval. Decide that your future is more important than your excuses. Decide that even if life becomes difficult, you will not easily surrender. You are stronger than the version of yourself that fear wants you to believe in. There is more inside you. More strength, more courage, more potential, more possibility. But you will only discover it by moving forward. So when life challenges you, stand up. When fear whispers, take a step. When failure knocks you down, learn and rise again. When people doubt you, continue working. When the journey becomes difficult, remember why you started. And when you feel like giving up, remember how many times you have already survived what once felt impossible. Your life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be present, to be willing, to be courageous. You do not need to know the entire road. You only need the courage to take the next step. Today can be the day you stop running from your fears. Today can be the day you stop waiting for permission. Today can be the day you begin believing that your future can be different. Stand up for your dreams. Stand up for your future. Stand up for the person you are becoming. Be afraid if you must. But do not stop. Doubt yourself if you must, but do not stop. Fall down if you must, but get back up. Because courage is not about never falling. Courage is about refusing to stay down. Your journey is not over. Your potential is not finished. Your best chapter may still be ahead of you. Take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and take the next brave step. Live with courage every day, not because you are never afraid, but because your dreams, your growth, and your future are more important than the fear trying to hold you back.